Her boss started phoning late at night, and at first, I brushed it off. I told myself it was just part of her job, that she was dedicated, hardworking, and her position demanded odd hours. But no matter how I tried to rationalize it, something about it gnawed at me. Each time the phone buzzed after midnight and his name lit up on the screen, a heavy weight pressed against my chest. I told myself I trusted her. I tried to. But with every late call, that trust splintered a little more until the truth slammed into me so hard it left me stunned. It began without warning. My wife, Clara, had been chasing a major promotion at work. Ambitious and relentless, she poured herself into the job. I admired her drive. She'd come home drained but triumphant, talking about the projects she was juggling, the pressure from management, the endless deadlines. I wanted to be her support system, so I cooked dinners, cleaned the house, and bit my tongue when she skipped family gatherings or when our time together shrank to almost nothing. I kept repeating the same thought: once she secured that promotion, life would calm down. Then the phone calls began. At first, just a couple here and there, always her boss, always late. She'd answer quickly, slip out of the room, and lower her voice to a whisper I could barely catch. When she returned, I'd ask, and the answer was always the same: work. You know how demanding he is. He never stops. Then she'd laugh it off, press a kiss to my cheek, and act as though everything was normal. I wanted so badly to believe her. But the pattern became impossible to ignore. The calls weren't random. They came almost nightly, around the same hour. And after each one, she suddenly had urgent tasks, either retreating to her laptop or heading out the door to meet a deadline. One night, she left at 1 a.m., claiming she had to help her boss finish a report before a big meeting. That was the moment something inside me cracked. Sleep was impossible. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard that ringtone echoing in my head. The next morning, I confronted her. I asked why her boss couldn't respect boundaries, why every emergency fell on her shoulders. She grew defensive, snapping that I didn't understand how important the promotion was. "This means everything to me," she said. "If I don't make sacrifices now, I'll regret it forever." I backed down, apologized, but her reaction lodged an even darker doubt in my mind. I began watching closer. I paid attention to her schedule, compared her stories with the hours she claimed to be working, and checked whether her explanations added up. One Friday night, she told me she was still at the office polishing a presentation. But when I drove past a building, the parking lot was empty. No cars. No lights. And hers definitely wasn't there. My stomach dropped. I sat in my car gripping the steering wheel, rage and grief fighting inside me. I almost called her then and there, but instinct told me to wait, to gather proof before confronting her. The late calls only increased after that. Sometimes she didn't come home until dawn. When she did, I'd notice the faint trace of cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her clothes, her makeup smudged like she'd been somewhere she shouldn't. I felt like a guest in my own marriage, watching the woman I loved slip further from me. And still, a part of me prayed I was wrong. But I wasn't. One night, she got another of those whispered calls, muttered about needing to meet her boss, and grabbed her keys. I waited a few minutes, then followed. My heart hammered as I trailed her through the quiet streets until she pulled into the driveway of a luxury hotel. She didn't hesitate. She parked, checked her hair in the mirror, and walked inside with a smile I hadn't seen in months. I sat there in my car, frozen, watching the lobby doors close behind her. The truth I had been avoiding finally crashed down on me. She hadn't been working late. She hadn't been climbing the ladder with effort and talent. She was sleeping with her boss. Those midnight calls, the endless excuses, every whispered conversation had been a mask for betrayal. My chest tightened until I could barely draw breath, my stomach twisting so hard I thought I might collapse. But instead of breaking, something inside me hardened. I couldn't explode in a hotel parking lot. Not there. Not without a plan. I had to stay calm, let her think I was blind to it all. That night she slipped into bed as if nothing had happened. She even kissed my shoulder, whispered good night, and closed her eyes like we were still the same couple we used to be. My fists curled under the blanket, but I said nothing. Silence became my weapon. Over the next 2 weeks, I gathered proof. Hotel receipts, phone records, call logs. Every detail stacked neatly into a file that painted the truth in black and white. Finally, one evening, when she walked through the door after yet another meeting, I was waiting. Papers spread across the table, her call history glowing on the laptop. I looked her dead in the eye and asked, "How long has it been?" Her face drained of color. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Hands shaking, she reached for the evidence, but I pulled it back before she could touch it. I told her I knew about the hotels, the calls, the nights she disappeared. I told her I knew she was selling out both her dignity and our marriage for a promotion. She broke down in tears, begging me to listen. She swore it wasn't what I thought. She said she felt pressured, that her boss had promised her the world if she gave in. But I saw the truth beneath her words. She had made her choice. Ambition over loyalty. Betrayal over love. That night I packed a bag and left. No yelling. No broken dishes. No cruel words. I just walked out, because nothing could erase the image of her smiling as she walked into that hotel. Nothing could erase the memory of all those nights she whispered to him while lying next to me. Her boss had called late at night, and I had finally uncovered the truth. The woman I trusted with my heart had been unfaithful for the sake of her career. The moment I understood it, my entire world shifted. I left the lies, the pain, and the betrayal behind me, because I knew I was worth more than being treated as an afterthought. She got what she wanted, at least on paper. I heard later she received the promotion, but it came with whispers, side glances, a shadow she couldn't shake. She gained the title, yes, but she lost the one thing she could never reclaim. My trust, my love, the life we built together. For me, leaving was the hardest choice I've ever made, but it was also the first step toward freedom. I began to rebuild slowly, piece by piece. I focused on healing. I reminded myself that her betrayal didn't define me, that my value wasn't tied to her choices. True strength wasn't clinging to someone who lied, it was finding the courage to let go. Betrayal leaves scars, but it also gives you the chance to choose yourself. And in that choice lies power. Her boss's late-night calls had shattered me, but they also gave me clarity. No promotion, no job, no ambition is worth more than real love. In choosing deceit, she lost far more than she ever gained.